Should you rent or should you buy? It's an age-old question, and one that came up on the Daily podcast from the New York Times on November 30th. The entire podcast, they talk about, does your market make more sense to rent or buy? And then they go through, the amount of money that it's going to take you for closing costs to purchase that home, the cost of maintenance over time, and then, the appreciation of home values in your area versus renting, where you don't have those upfront costs, the closing costs and maintenance of the home. You're paying a monthly rent and that's it. But that rent is just evaporating. It's going to the landlord. So what they do in this podcast is they talk about a rent ratio, and it's just kind of a simple formula that they've come up with to give you an idea of, is my market, does it make more sense to buy or rent? So let's do it really quick. So I did a little research ahead of time, and I found a 2-story home in, this is the article from the New York Times called Rent or Buy. I found a random 2-story home in Eagan that sold in June. It had 4 beds, 4 baths, 3-car garage, right around 3,200 square feet. So get a little peek of this house. Nice 2-story home. And so that cost $581,000. To figure out the rent ratio, we're going to find a similar home that is listed for rent. And so I've done that here. 5-bed, 4-bath, 3,344 square foot home. Also a nice 2-story. And that they're asking $2,950. So what you're doing then is you're going to take $581,000 and divide that by 12 months of rent. So $2,950 times 12, so you get $35,400. And you're gonna get, after you divide that from 581, you're gonna get 16.4. So what does that number mean? So in the podcast and the article, they talk about any number 20 or less, it makes more sense to buy than it does to rent. So 16.4 on this house. And I've also done this on several other homes across the Twin Cities, different markets. And every time and time again, I got numbers that were under 20. In fact, the lowest one I got was a 12. So I encourage you to go out and play around with that a little bit on your own. And if you would, leave in the comments the rent ratio that you got when you did your homework there. With interest rates being at 7 currently, right around 7, and they've been up to 8 even, it's scared a lot of people out of the market. And so right now you're seeing a lot of homes sit on the market for months at a time. And so if buying is something that you do want to do, but you're just kind of waiting it out and you think it's not a good time to buy, but you can afford that monthly payment, maybe rethink this. Do this math. Let me know what you think. I hope you find it useful.